We have here question 12 of the 2016 National 5 Maths paper 2, and we have to change the subject of a formula from L to K, and we see that it's L is the subject because L is the term on its own, and we have to get K as the subject of the formula. In other words, we have to get K on its own and isolate it and get the other terms on the opposite side of the equal sign. So pause the video if you want to have a go at it now, but I'm going to continue. So, with equations that you do the inverse, you do inverses, so you do the opposite. For example, if it's subtracting, you add to cancel out, and you do the same to both sides. So we have a square root, and we have all of this underneath the square root. Now the k is inside the square root, so we have to get rid of the square root. We have to do the inverse of a square root to get rid of it. So if we square this side, then you cancel out the square root. So that's going to be 4kt minus p the first step is getting rid of any powers or square roots. And we can do that because all of the terms are inside it. Now, if the minus p was outside it, you would first of all have to add p to both sides and cancel out. But because the minus p is inside the square root, then we don't do that. So we have L squared equals 4kt minus p. Now we have the minus p, and we want k, get all of the non-k terms on the opposite side. Can we get rid of the t at the minute? Well, no, because if we divide by t, then we would be dividing the p by t, or the minus p by t. So that we have 4kt equals 4 multiplied by k multiplied by t. So the only way to get 4kt on its own, which is the next step in isolating k, is to get rid of the minus p. Now, if you want to get rid of a minus p, you have to do the inverse or the opposite. So that's going to be a plus p. So plus p to this side, but we also have to add p to the other side. So L squared plus p equals 4kt, and the minus p and the plus t by default they cancel out, so that's 4kt. Now this means 4 times k times t, so if I divide by 4 I will write down exactly what as I'm doing. So because we have 4 multiplied by k multiplied by t, if we divide by 4, since the 4 is multiplying, then we do the inverse of multiplication, division. So the 4's cancel out, and it's just going to be kt on this side, and we then get L squared plus p divided by 4. One more thing, we're almost there, but k multiplied by t, So t is multiplying, so if we divide through by t, we then cancel the t out of the right hand side and get k on its own. So we can write this as k equals L squared plus P over 4T. Or if you wanted, we can write K on the left hand side by convention. So that is L squared plus P over 4T. And check, we have K as the subject, K is on its own, and you also have to check that the subject, i.e. K, is not on the right hand side at all. Now K is not on the right hand side. We have L, we have P, and we have T, but we don't have K on the right hand side. So that's good, and that's us finished. Let's have a look at how the SQA would mark this question. The first mark would be, you get a mark for each of the operations. The first one would be for getting rid of the square root up to this point. So getting this as a mark, then adding p to both sides would be the next mark. So this gets the second mark. So if you're up to getting everything above this point would be 2 marks. So all of this is 2 marks, and you divide through by t and by 4, and the final answer would get you the last mark. So if you done any of these, which many pupils did in the exam, these would be the ways that you lose points. The common mistake is adding p at the start. As I said, that's wrong, because you have to isolate the square root, or get rid of the square root, because minus p is inside the square root, so you can't just add p. And then dividing by 4t makes no sense, because you can't divide by 4t to get from this, which I've highlighted, to that, because the 4t in this is in the square root, so you have to get it out of the square root. But I hope you found this video useful, and thank you for watching. Best of luck with the studying.